Good day, everyone. Mr. Scott, you've appeared in this courtroom for 2 previous cases, one with DNA results that proved you were the father of a child and the other that proved you were not. Now you say you are here yet again as the father of 7 children with 4 different women to deny that you fathered child number 8 with mother number 5. Ms. Smith, you admit you cheated on Mr. Scott, but say you believe it was before you got pregnant. You argue that the only reason he's denying your daughter is because he can no longer control you. Furthermore, you claim Mr. Scott scammed you into paying his travel costs when he visited you in Michigan, and you are asking the court to award you $1,500 for reimbursement of airline and lodging expenses. So, Mr. Scott, how did you meet Ms. Smith?
Well, I met her on the website. You know, I was looking for love, and I went to a website, and I ran into Crystal. You know, 4 or 5 months into it, you know, started getting suspicious about certain things. You know, she gave me her voicemail, and I hear dudes in the background.
I gave you my voicemail, Pastor, because I wasn't doing anything.
Oh, yeah, okay, yeah, true that. But then dudes are leaving voicemails to her, talking about, oh, you sexy.
You had girls leaving voicemails on your phone and calling you.
You ain't supposed to do that if you have a man. Dudes are not.
Well,
dudes ain't supposed to leave messages talking about you sexy.
And you ain't supposed to be calling other
So
chicks when you're with a girl.
hold on. This is before you ever met her.
Yeah, this before, but we talked every day.
We were on the phone
Ms. Smith.
It wasn't about me being controlled.
Ms. Smith, was he honest with you about how many children he had?
No, he was not.
Yes, I was. I don't lie about my kids.
I only thought
So
that he had 5.
you didn't know that Mr. Scott had 2 3-year-olds, 2 6-year-olds,
No, I
a
did not.
7-year-old, a 12-year-old, and a 13-year-old.
She knew about all my kids. She knew
I
about
only
all
knew
my
about
kids.
5 kids.
She knew about all my kids because all my kids was on my page. We wanted to be together. That's all it was.
When
that was
he
my
was
girl.
actually in
that was my
Michigan,
woman.
his phone kept going off while we were at a restaurant. I'm not going to lie, I was quite embarrassed by it because it was just loud ghetto music.
This was after the fact that she cheated. This is after the fact that she cheated. She's talking about. Okay, so let me go back to the beginning. I went to Michigan. She did not even greet me.
She didn't greet you.
She didn't get out the car, give me no
I
hug,
did.
no kiss.
I didn't want to kiss you.
But I thought you all were in a relationship.
I was in a relationship with him, but we were
She
over
was
the
nervous.
phone relationship.
She was
I was
nervous.
really nervous to
She was
meet
very
him in
nervous.
person.
She was
After
blushing. She was red
20
everywhere.
minutes of being in, then I was more okay. But right when we first met him, he wanted to be on top of me, all over me. Like, give me a second to breathe. I'm like,
That's my woman. 8 months. What am I supposed to do? You know, so we get there.
why you got
We
kids.
go around her family. Everybody's
that's why
like,
you got so many kids, because you always trying to jump. Give me a second to talk to you for a minute.
to jump.
Well, he just doesn't
You
have
like
a
to
lot of
jump off.
kids. Mr. Scott, you also have a lot of women. We
I have
learned
a
in
lot of
court
women.
before that you had several women at the same time, and now
Yes,
are we
he did.
adding
Can we
Ms. Smith
get
to
to
the
that
mix?
point? Let's get to that point. So when
Yeah, let's get to
when
it.
I arrived in Michigan, she did not greet me at all. She took me amongst her family.
agree.
Everybody greeted me with love. It was like, hey, how's California? And whoop-de-whoop-de-whoop. And is it nice out there? Is it sunny? I said, yes, it's nice out here. Okay. So we go to her job. Everybody's questioning me about California. There's one guy in particular who does not say nothing
Because
to me at
nobody
all.
cares about
This
you,
dude didn't
Marcel.
look at me at all. I'm not stupid. I'm a very smart man. He had his head down. He was humble, just like this the whole time. He was scared to look at
No,
me
he was
because he
not.
knew something.
No,
he
he
must
was
have did
not.
something wrong. So me being smart, I'm like, put 2 and 2 together. So we get back to the room. He texts her phone. She deletes his text message. Ooh. Yeah, she deleted his text message. Okay. So when I got home, I said, look, I use reverse psychology. Look, I promise you, I'm not gonna leave you. Just tell me what happened. She told me I had sex with him, but it didn't last that long. That's what she said. And then she told me I had sex with him right here.
I did.
So wait.
But then I knew him 4 years ago.
Recap. You used reverse psychology.
Yeah, and
you
I said, I promise you, I won't leave you. Just tell me what happened. She said, he took advantage of me. We had sex right there, but it didn't last that long because I loved you.
I did lie.
She should have been
a lot
honest.
about that.
If she loved me and she didn't mean for it to happen, she would have told me right then and there, like, look, babe, I'm sorry this has happened. I didn't mean for it to happen.
At that point in our
And
relationship, we were already.
she told me this
we
after
did not
I
talk
left.
for
So she
2
would have
weeks
told
in
me
our
this
relationship.
before I came. There wouldn't have been no
at the
situation.
end of the day,
She named the baby
that's
Honesty.
why we're here, is because you
He knows
claimed
that he's dead.
that she was intimate with this gentleman and you at the same time.
Of course she was,
And
'cause she didn't even
therefore
want-
you have doubt concerning the paternity of
Of
her
course, because
child.
she didn't even tell me. She named the baby Honesty Love.
Once I told him I was pregnant, we fought for about another month afterwards, and then he changed his phone number on me, his Facebook, everything. He changed everything on me. I didn't talk to
I got the
Marcel
same
until I was
address.
like
I have the same address.
8 or 9 months. I had sent you pictures because you
I never
told me
received
to.
them. Yeah,
you did
I
receive
never
them because
received
your
them.
girl told me that your mama called you and said, hey, you have a letter here oh, just throw it away. And those were honestly ultrasound pictures. And
I
you're
never
dead
got no
wrong because
pictures.
You knew I was
I
sending
never
them.
got no
That's why your
pictures
girl
at
told
all.
me. Your girl told me that
never
All right,
got
you
no
received them and
pictures.
threw
Miss
them away.
Smith, you have a witness, ma'am. Could you please step up?
She ain't a
It
witness.
is
I met her for
finally
like 10 minutes.
time for you to speak.
I met her like 10
I'd
minutes.
like to hear from you. It's a Miss Luzinski, right?
Correct.
Now, what do you have to add to this?
That he's a deadbeat.
Tell me that.
He comes to Michigan. Crystal paid for everything.
She didn't pay
He
for
was
that.
so controlling. I offered for them to stay at my house so they didn't have to spend no money. He said, oh no, I got this. I'll pay for the hotel. Well, it turns around, Crystal paid for the hotel. He would not let Crystal leave the hotel. We had family cookouts so that he could get to know the family. And oh no, he didn't want to go. He wanted to stay in the hotel. Crystal wasn't allowed to go because he came there to see Crystal, and she had to stay there and see him. He was only here for a little bit of time. He didn't want to meet the family. When he finally did come out to see the family, my boyfriend's got a son with somebody else. He was so rude to him that my boyfriend, we left because boys are going to be boys. They're going to play rough. He yelled at his son and said, take that baseball bat somewhere else. Who the hell you think you are? Don't bring that around me. My boyfriend got in his face because he wants to control everybody. He thinks he's from Hollywood, so he thinks that he's this big hotshot dude, and everybody has to respect him. He ain't nobody. People in Saginaw, homeless people in Saginaw have more respect than he does.
Can I say something, please? Can I say something,
ain't
please?
nobody.
Thank you for that. You may
please?
be seated, ma'am. Thank you. In the case of Scott versus Smith, as it pertains to 3-month-old Honesty Smith, Mr. Scott, you are her father.
Who
Told
couldn't
you.
keep their legs closed?
Take care of your
Keep their
baby.
legs closed, sweetie.
Take care of your baby now.
Now, Mr. Scott, this is the 3rd time you have been in front of this courtroom. The last time we were together, I looked you dead in your eye and asked you, I'm not going to see you again, am I?
Man, I had to take care of
And you
business.
said no.
He'll be back next year.
And I'm going to say this, and I'll leave it be.
Who is you?
All of you all want to start these online relationships
It's cool. Just make sure.
and, without seeing
again.
someone in person. And I don't know, he led you straight to the water, Miss Smith, and you just drank up the river. Your first sign was when you knew he was going to get on a bus from California to Michigan. Look, I'm from Michigan. I know how long that
Part of
trip can
Michigan,
be.
you from Flint?
When he's going to get on a bus, you knew right then. You should have politely put your little coins back in your purse, look, and signed on off the internet. Are we
She
clear?
couldn't. She couldn't.
Are we clear?
Yes.
Now you all take care of that beautiful baby.
Yeah, I'm gonna take care of it.
Court is adjourned. Ms. McKenzie, you say Mr. Guy abandoned you and your daughter, Anaya, soon after she was born, and denies he's her father only because he already has too many kids.
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Guy, you say you knew this wasn't your child from the moment Ms. McKenzie said she was pregnant. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
So, Ms. McKenzie, when did you first realize that he denied he was your daughter's father?
Well, when I told him that I was pregnant, he kind of like was shocked a little bit. Then he was like, "She gonna be my 13th daughter? Like, how can I take care of all of them?"
His what child?
13th kid.
13 kids, Mr. Guy?
No, Your Honor. I told her I had 8.
He told me he had 8, and then he said when I told him I was pregnant, he said
You're
13.
definitely wrong about that
No,
one.
Tim, you know.
You're definitely wrong about
So
that.
you're
like-
saying before he told you he had 8?
Yeah, and then it was like they kept popping up. Like I even went to school
That
with
was
one of
the
his
other
kids.
dude.
No,
You went to school with some of his
with one
kids?
of his kids. We was in college together with one of his kids. And then like when I
Wait,
asked him
how
about
old
that-
are you?
I'm 28.
And how old are you, Mr. Guy?
45.
Oh, boy. Okay, so when did you realize he was denying your child, that he said, this is not my child?
After I had her, he was at the hospital and everything. When he brought us home, he just like basically set her on the floor in her car seat. He was like, I gotta go run an errand. And he never came back. So he just left her there. Like he just left us there for like months.
So you come in from the hospital.
Yes.
And he puts her on the floor in the car seat.
Yes.
And says, I gotta run an errand.
Yes,
And never comes back.
exactly.
So you're there just caring for this child.
Caring for her.
Are you calling him?
Yes, I called him like, I called him so many times. Like he even like at one point just stopped answering my phone calls. Like I didn't speak to him until she was almost 6 months old, and I had to call him from my friend's phone.
So wait, you had to trick him. You had to call him from your friend's phone so
And
he
he
wouldn't
answered.
recognize the number
Yes.
for him to answer because he had not been answering your call.
Yes.
Mr. Guy, have you been avoiding her calls all that time?
Yes, Your Honor.
Why?
She was harassing me.
Harassing you about what?
Baby this, baby that.
'Cause
I'm
she's your
like,
baby.
That ain't my baby, you know.
Okay.
It's milkman's baby, somebody's baby,
Milkman.
but it wasn't mine.
Excuse me.
Why did you say it wasn't yours? Were you sleeping with her?
I was sleeping
Were you
with her.
using protection?
No, Your Honor.
So how do you think you're excluded from possibility?
Like when the baby was born, I was at the hospital and looked at the baby. I said, this ain't my baby.
When we was at the hospital, he said my baby looked like his mom and his grandma. That's what he said.
Did you say that at the hospital, Mr. Guy?
I don't recall saying that.
So why are you denying this beautiful baby? You say you were having an intimate relationship with her. Why are you saying it's someone else's child?
Because the instances that I catch her telling lies. Like one time, me and my brother pulled up. She was sitting in the car with somebody. And they was there for a while because we was sitting up there watching them. So
What were they doing in the car?
I thought they was having sex.
Really?
Can I say something? That night that he's talking about, I called him and he told me to come over to his house. When I got there, he was not there. So when I was leaving, my friend that lives down the street from him saw me and gave me a ride. We were parked by my house, in front of our house, talking.
Were you sleeping with anybody else while you were having, what is this relationship? Are you all boyfriend and girlfriend or what?
I'm gonna just put it out there. He's a user. He used me. He lived at my house. He didn't pay rent. He didn't have a job. He used me.
We were staying with her for a second, but
So why were you even over there if you said the baby definitely wasn't yours, it was the milkman's baby?
They don't even deliver milk no more. How was the milkman baby?
It was for convenience. I mean, it was just like, we was messing around. We was steady messing around. As you see right here, Your Honor, 7:45, this is the actual schedule they be having. 7:45 a.m., that's when classes begin. And 4:55 p.m., that's when classes end, the last class.
So the last class is at 4:55.
Yes.
And you say she didn't get home till midnight.
She didn't get home till midnight.
So where are you? Class don't last that long.
Your Honor, I have no idea.
Did you get missing after class, Miss McKenzie?
I would like to say, okay, yeah, if we can point to Exhibit A, as he say, 7:45 is when I started school. I had to take my son on the bus to my mother's house at 5 o'clock in the morning, get back on the other side of town at 7 o'clock, started my class at 7:45, got off at 4:45. Went to pick my son up and came back home and did my homework, and I did that every day. As far as him saying I got home at midnight, when I was going to school, I was also working, third shift, cleaning college offices downtown.
I don't remember that job.
Because you weren't there. You even
Remember
told me
that
his friend even worked there with me. His friend worked there with me. He makes up stories because he has to make me look bad for the fact that.
So what
he
you're
does
saying
look
is
bad.
you were not sleeping with anyone else?
No.
There's no other possibility.
No.
Mr. Guy,
I think it's a lot of possibilities.
why do you think there are a lot of possibilities?
Everything she's saying is inconsistent. Because like I said, I was there,
You was not there.
but
No birthdays, no Christmases, nothing.
He hasn't spent Christmas or
Nothing.
birthday.
She don't know who he is.
She doesn't acknowledge him.
He comes to our city where we live, and I have to call him and say, do you want your kids here? Yeah, I come and get them. He never showed up. He came and got them for Thanksgiving.
How does it make you feel that Anaya's 3 years old and has absolutely no relationship with her father?
It angers me. It does. It infuriates me because why not? What did she do? Like, what did she do?
When it comes to 3-year-old Anaya Guy, it has been determined by this court, Mr. Guy, you are her father. Now what, Mr. Guy? Speak.
I feel pretty much ashamed. I would like to be a father to her.
So what are you gonna do? Where are we gonna go from here?
Gotta first start by making up time
Yes.
with her, my daughter,
Yes.
and
When's the last time you saw her?
maybe 2 years ago.
2 years ago. Let me tell you something. Get yourself together. Really? You know good and well, if there was a possibility that you were that child's father, you should at least checked on that child. Or done in 2 years, not even laid eyes on her.
And he comes to our city, and he don't see her. I call him and say to him, come, you want to get the kids? He'll say, yeah, he'd never show up.
So now you gotta make this up to this little girl. And you can't run away, Mr. Guy, at the first obstacle or sign of rejection, because she's not gonna just run up to you and be daddy. You've got to prove it. You've got to earn it. You are also responsible to help Ms. McKenzie care for her financially. Don't miss this opportunity. Mr. Lloyd, you are in court today to prove that you are the biological father of the defendant's 1.5-year-old daughter, Courtney Marie Grimes. You claim the defendant led you to believe that you were the father only to have a bomb dropped on you that another man was her dad. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Rayleigh, you say you are 100% sure that Mr. Lloyd is not Courtney's biological father, and you will prove your case in court today. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Well, we'll meet that other man in just a moment, but first, let's start from the beginning. I want to understand the nature of this relationship. So you were in a relationship with somebody else when you met Mr. Lloyd, or were you in a relationship with Mr. Lloyd and met somebody else?
I had just recently got out of a relationship when I had met Mr. Lloyd. Of course, I was ending my last relationship with the other party.
All right, so then you had finished the other relationship, or you were still kind of seeing this other guy?
We had like just ended. It wasn't even a month apart or a week apart that me and him had ended. And we had started getting intimate right there.
All right, so Mr. Lloyd, at the time you were dating Ms. Rayleigh, did you feel like you were in an exclusive relationship?
At the time, I didn't. You know, as it prolonged, I did start catching feelings for her. Actually, we moved together afterward.
You did?
We moved in together.
So you moved in together?
Yes.
When she tells you she's pregnant, she comes to you and says what exactly?
We was actually sitting in her room, actually. We was talking. She started crying, said she was pregnant. I was excited, you know, this is my first child. So I was excited, and I was willing to take up the responsibility to be in Courtney Grimes' life. I already had doubts. I knew of this guy, you know, so I already had doubts about it. So the third month, I take her mom out to eat, and we just nipped it in the bud like, this your baby. It's like, was she like 3-4 months pregnant?
Do you remember this dinner meeting, Ms. Rayleigh?
Yes, yes, Your Honor.
And you all cleared the air and told Mr. Lloyd there's no doubt you are the father?
Yes, Your Honor.
So when the baby was born, Ms. Rayleigh, who was present?
Mr. Grimes was.
Oh, because...
Oh, excuse me. She didn't even tell me that he was present when he was born. She, from my knowledge, wasn't nobody there but the mother.
He didn't need to be there if he's not the dad. So that's why Mr. Grimes...
But what the dots I'm trying to connect are, when you told him he was the father, he accepted he was the father, but you say that this window between Mr. Grimes and Mr. Lloyd is only a span of 2 to 3 weeks anyway, right?
3 weeks.
3 weeks?
Or 4. Yeah, 3 to 4 weeks.
I didn't even know the baby got born. I had to find out off of Facebook.
How old was Courtney when you first met her? Did you ever get to see her?
Yes, I think I seen her, I think like the second or third week she was out the hospital. She let me see Courtney Grimes whenever I wanted to. She'd give him his chance and still give me my chance too.
But wait, she gave the baby Mr. Grimes' last name.
Yes, yeah. She gave him his last name. Actually, I'm the one who came up with the name Courtney Marie.
Actually, Mr. Grimes came up with the name.
So wait, you sleeping with 2 different guys, but they both picked the same name.
How awkward that sound,
They both said Courtney. That's what we think is a good name.
Yep.
Way too much synergy here. You want Mr. Lloyd to know for certain that he's not the biological father.
Correct, Your Honor.
We here to find out because she don't know 100%. That's why we're here.
All right, Jerome, I want to talk to Mr. Grimes. He's joining us from his hometown. Mr. Grimes, do you believe she's your biological child?
I'm gonna say yes. Then I got some doubts too, though, at the same time.
So you have doubts. Tell the court why you have doubts.
Since Shantia been pregnant, she been playing both sides. 1 minute Corey the daddy, next minute I'm the daddy. Corey about to spend some money on the baby. He the daddy. Like, we both still seeing her to this day, you know? So
You both still seeing her?
we both still seeing Courtney. I mean, he been to Memphis more than me. I've been to Memphis one time. He been down there 3-4 times. But Shantia not telling me that.
So you saying this is supposedly your biological child with your last name, but this other man has been to see the child more than you?
Man, I'm talking about, I got my whole family calling me like, why is it another man with your daughter on this page talking about daddy's baby? Like I said, I got doubts. I mean, she look like him. She got my nose. She look like both of us, you ask me, but
That's what I said.
both of us around their mama,
And
you
I
know?
slept with both of y'all. Both of y'all get on my nerves.
Who's paying child support to help support this baby?
Neither one.
I can't pay child support if I'm not on a birth certificate.
Ain't
Let me
nobody
tell you,
on
you
birth
can
certificate,
still,
sir.
you don't have to
But
pay
I
child
still
support.
come out of pocket when I want to.
Support can be, of course, done through the state, but it also can just be done personally between the parents. I mean, I tell people, handle it through the living room so you don't have to handle it through the courtroom. So have you helped with this child?
Yes, Your Honor.
You have. Mr. Grimes, she has your last name. Have you been helping to support Courtney since she's been born?
Man, I'm gonna tell you like I told Shantia when Corey, Mr. Lloyd, get out of her life, I told her, give me blood, I give her baby love, basically. I'm tired of her playing both sides. I got 6 other kids that I gotta worry about. She's not finna keep playing with this kid. If Courtney minds, Courtney makes 7.
How old are you, Mr. Grimes?
23.
We just had a baby. We just had a baby together. That's the 8th one.
Now you all, No. Now you all know. How many kids you have, Mr. Lloyd?
This will be my first child. You know what I'm saying? I actually went and begged for my job back so I can support my daughter.
This would be your first child.
Yes, Your Honor.
So this matters to you.
Yes, Your Honor.
But Ms. Rayleigh has maintained consistently throughout this hearing that you are not Courtney's biological father. But that still does not sway you because you feel like you are.
It doesn't sway me because I was already persuaded of that was my baby.
You feel like you have now for 18 months, you've made trips to see this baby, you've spent time with this beautiful little girl, and you look at her and you feel like there are similarities that confirm your belief that she's yours.
Yes, Your Honor.
This would be your first child.
Yes, Your Honor.
So this matters to you.
Yes, Your Honor.
So, Ms. Rayleigh, you're saying you are certain that Mr. Grimes is her biological father?
Yes, sir.
Or are you saying that you have a younger child together as well, so you just believe?
Yes, Your Honor.
I don't know. I'll be back for that one too, to be honest with you.
And this is my first time hearing that one also.
You have a doubt about the subsequent child as well, the paternity?
Yes, ma'am.
And that's what makes me upset about this whole situation because they be trying to play me like I'm just this bad person, this bad mother, and this just bad. And I'm not. I had conversations way before I even turned 7 months that he's not the father. I never told him that he wasn't the father at all. And to hear him say this in court today, he would never, ever speak to me again unless it's about our children. And that's it. It's no more going back and forth because I have been going back and forth with these two for too long. And it's time for it to end. Either I'm going to be one of them or neither one of them. And I want it to come out today because I'm done with it. Absolutely done. I just want the truth to
Keep
be
your
gone.
legs closed, you won't go through this.
If you keep your penis in your pants, you won't have this problem either.
Lord. In the case of Lloyd versus Rayleigh, pertaining to whether Mr. Grimes or Mr. Lloyd is the father of 1-year-old Courtney Rayleigh Grimes, it has been determined by this court. The biological father is Mr. Lloyd.
Happy for y'all. Congratulations. But you're done. I knew it from the start. You done, bro.
Calm down, because the truth is, it's not done. Because you might have another baby. You potentially impregnated the same girl again.
Man, y'all believe that if y'all want to. Y'all believe that if y'all want to.
So you're saying now that because of this result, you further doubt the next child?
The same thing we just went through with this baby, Shantia was doing the same thing with this new baby. It's me and it's 2 other guys that's possible for this one,